Don in London, hello. July 13th, 2009. The time is just after 10 o'clock, and it's been a busy morning so far. Up and about, down to see my GP, general practitioner doctor, and they weren't there. They had an emergency. That is, their car had an emergency. It broke down. And I also had a review with the clinical nurse about my type 1 diabetes and all the other things which go on for me on a daily basis, and that happened. So 1 out of 2 ain't bad, is it? So I don't worry too much when things don't go quite the way I would wish them or have planned them these days, and the simple reason is anything can happen in the next 24 hours. And in recovery, that's me, addicted to substance and behaviour along the way. My addictive substance was alcohol, my behaviour trying to be whatever I thought you would want me to be, or trying to strive to do all the things which would make me look right and feel right. I got as far as look right, but I don't know that I ever felt quite right about where I was and what I was doing. And of course, if I put a bottle of spirits in between me and reality, which is what I did in the last few years of my drinking, then of course I'm not happy, I'm not actually connecting with life very well. I'm in a place of addiction and morbid fear of what might happen next. So a lot of my time was spent living in fear, putting on a brave face, and living in a thoroughly brittle ego state. Ego we have to a degree which sharpens us up when we fear something, but if we live persistently in fear, putting on a brave face and ego, it's going to be to our detriment. It's at the extremes of behaviour. And I guess also the other extreme of that behaviour would be having so much courage, faith and confidence that everything always will be right no matter what. Actually could be an extreme as well. So somewhere in the middle maybe there is some balance, and that's the balance that nature and providence gave us, probably. That is, to be aware of our surroundings and to see life as it is, realistically. So yes, I'm in recovery from addiction, and it's a day by day process, 1 day at a time. That's my life plan, and it's all I've got, and I'm very happy it's so. So like this morning, something to do, didn't quite happen as I might imagine, and I could turn sour on that, or I could just say, well, it's life, isn't it? Got halfway there. So that's all good. I've got more checkups this week. I'd be interested to see how many can happen, and whether people are there to be seen. Anyway, addiction. What helps me with addiction mainly these days, apart from family, community, professionals and the whole of the world, is a fellowship called AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, full of unique, authentic people, and I choose to be unique and authentic too. So my message of recovery is my recovery, and whilst I refer to AA, I cannot speak on its behalf. It's full of unique, authentic people who can speak for themselves if they choose to, and whether they do or not is not my concern. I choose to speak about recovery because it helps me keep in the moment of now. This one day, this is the only day that counts, where I can feel things and understand what is going on, maybe, as best I can. And the fellowship of AA helps me, so I go to meetings most days. I didn't go to one yesterday, and I don't feel like I've been deprived. But I do know it's a good idea to get to one today. Otherwise, I could go off beam and be all over the place. Life can turn out well or badly, depending on what is going on. Anyway, shared at the beginning of every meeting of AA is this preamble, which I'm going to share now, and it slows me down. It makes me consider where I am today. It's part of my daily meditations, if you like. And it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. And it's just men and women. It's not an edifice which will put you right. It cannot fix you. It's just full of men and women on their daily route of life, their life plan, if you like, without having to cope too much. After all, my best coping strategy was drinking, I suspect. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And that's it. That's what it can do. That's what it's there for. To make the rest of life work. And in the programme, There are 12 steps of action to change attitude and behaviour. That is how I look at the world, how I feel about it, and how am I going to behave today. And with the tenets or principles of open, honest and willing to see what will happen, to be a part of, to be included. And the fellowship is just merely offering suggestions on how to live, not an edict. So open, honest and willing I can fit in with nicely, and then there are these 12 steps of attitude and behavioural change. So it's July, step 7, which is humbly asking for our shortcomings to be adjusted, if you like. I don't know that that's the right way of putting it, maybe not. But shortcomings for me is not enough of these things: faith, courage and confidence. And faith and courage come with understanding what the human condition is, how we are today. And confidence comes out of experiencing life and experimenting. So each day is an experiment which can build my courage, faith and confidence. Or at the same time it may knock me back a bit, and ego comes out to play, putting on a brave face, not wanting to show that I've been hurt. Or fear underneath of what people might say. And today, because I prepared everything for my GP and my clinical nurse to have a summary of how I'm doing, there were no surprises for them or me, and they were able, well, one of them was able to help me and make sure I got the right testing materials to make sure my blood sugars remain right for type 1 diabetes. So that's enough about me. I'm going to share the readings. I can tell I'm in a state of genuine medium excitement about today, even though there are big clouds coming over now and it's going to rain. So, daily reflections for today. This book gives 1 page per day, a little reflection if you like, and it says July 13th, humility is a gift. As long as we place self-reliance first, a genuine reliance upon a higher power was out of the question. That basic ingredient of all humanity, a desire to seek and do God's will, was missing, or it could have been just good conscience was missing. So when I first came into AA, I wanted to find some of the elusive quality called humility. I didn't realise I was looking for humility because I thought it would be... I didn't realise I was looking for humility because I thought it would help me get what I wanted, and that I would do anything for others if I thought God would somehow reward me for it. Yeah, there is no reward beyond doing whatever you do for the right reasons, I guess. I try to remember now that people I meet in the course of my day are as close to God, or good conscience, as I am ever going to get while on this earth. I need to pray for God's knowledge, or good conscience, and see how my experience with hope and pain can help other people. If I can't do that, I don't need to search for humility. It has found me. And I think that's true, that if we're genuinely here trying to be part of and help, no bigger, no smaller than anybody else, I think we're on the right track. And in As Bill Sees It, the other book I use predominantly on YouTube, it says here, page 148, more than comfort. When I am feeling depressed, I repeat to myself statements such as these: pain is the touchstone of progress. Fear no evil. This too will pass. This experience can be turned to benefit. These fragments of prayer bring far more than mere comfort. They keep me on track, on the track of right acceptance. They break up my compulsive themes of guilt, depression, rebellion and pride, and sometimes they endow me with the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so, like the serenity prayer, so, you know, in terms of humility, it's always knowing that we are no bigger, no smaller. We have no more rights, or no less rights than anybody else, unless we've done something completely against society's principles. And sometimes we have to pay a price for that. Even minor things like parking offences, through to goodness knows what else. But somewhere in there needs to be forgiveness for others and ourselves. So if we are learning by our mistakes, and the consequences can be as mild or severe as they may be, given the rules of society, we can start to understand where we are just for today. So the serenity prayer to God or good conscience or your higher power: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom, hopefully, just to know the difference for another day.